And welcome to the Raleigh Municipal Light Board meeting of June 22nd, 2016. The time being 7 p.m. I call the meeting to order. Item number 1 is citizens' query from 7 p.m. to 7:10 p.m. And as a reminder, this meeting is being audio and video recorded digitally. Review and accept minutes from the previous meeting. Dan, I understand they're not ready?
They're not ready, no, at this time.
Okay, we can put those on hold. So that takes us down to item number 3. And that is discussions on employee benefits
I'll open that a little bit, Sean.
for July 1st, 2016 employees in audience: Mark Anderson, Mark Bixby, Eric Groba, Sean LaBelle, Ryan Herdman, Sandra Nagel, Dennis Morrison. Okay.
At the last meeting, we gave you a couple of proposals that the union had wanted to bring forth. Not union, I'm sorry. The employees wanted to bring forth. They have a little bit more, they want to elaborate a little bit more on what I gave you last commission meeting.
Okay.
Sure. You guys have probably already seen this, but just in case you haven't. Just a few things that we were asking for.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
And this is just a copy, we printed this out of that study that was done, the recognition that we got.
Okay.
Is that for the, yeah.
You already had, do you have one of those?
Yeah, I
No, no, you
do.
do.
Yeah, you can have that.
And then, I'm sure you guys might have one of these, a copy of the meme survey. Yeah, basically it's just a few things we were looking for. The 3% raise and the change in the personal vacation time. With the 3% raise, as you see off the meme survey, the average was about 2.63 was the average municipal alignment rate. And with the average and due to the healthcare, we feel like 3% is very reasonable. We feel that we're above average. And, we also have that study that was done that showed that we were 99% reliable nationally, so we're proud of that. And just the fact that, you guys know as you drive by, we're always here, we're always hardworking, ready to go. We have a great relationship with everybody at work, with the customers, and with the other departments, And just, and Dan knows, we basically go above and beyond at all costs to keep the ratepayers happy, and to keep the lights on. So that's why the 3%. And the vacation and sick time is basically, we all have growing families, and, life gets in the way a lot of times. And we just find that if we have a little more flexibility with the vacation, the personal time, we had some instances, some of us are now, single parent homes, and if there's, a snow day at school, and you find out an hour before work that the kids don't have school that day, it makes it difficult to try to call in, and take a personal day or vacation day. And we have talked to other departments, and we found out that other departments in town have up to 10 minutes before the start of their shift. So we assume that if they did it, then town hall seems to be okay with that. Then we feel that we should hopefully be able to do it. So I feel that we're asking for pretty reasonable things. On that meme survey too, I had noticed that, it didn't have, we can't remember, Eric, do you remember what we got last year? Like 2.5?
I believe it was 2.5.
And it wasn't on there. The most recent one was 2014, which was the 375, but it didn't have the last year's, which I believe was 2.5.
2.5.
Okay.
What do you think, Ken? All set?
Yeah, we can move on with it.
What do you think?
Well, we gonna make a decision tonight, or are we gonna take a look at this and?
Well, I think there was gonna be a decision tonight.
If possible, that would be helpful only because it runs into,
Retroactive.
thank you, retroactive.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple things I'd like to look at town, things just to cross-reference to.
Okay. Ken, you got anything?
Well, it just seems like you guys are always comparing it to the town. We are not town employees. We are regulated by the ratepayers. And you keep going back to the town employees, and it's not there. I don't know how you can compare one with another. You know, if we work for the town, that'd be one thing, but we don't work for the town. We work for the ratepayers. If they have a problem with it, let them come to a meeting or do something, or call or write or do something, but it doesn't make sense to me to have to compare it to the town employees. These guys are still on the list, top 10 list of all the most dangerous jobs in the country. If you don't believe it, you can call Georgetown. And National Grid put 2 people in the hospital last week. I haven't heard how serious it was. I don't know how many other things in town are on that list. Maybe the police and fire department. I don't know.
And I have to say, for taking a lot of phone calls in the office, that I get a lot of calls just for thank you for doing such a great job. Both customer
No,
service.
I have no doubt. I worked, I told you, for 10 years of my life, I worked up in the air. I know all the dangers of being out there. No, you don't have to tell me about that. I have to take other things into consideration as a commissioner here, okay? So, and I just completely understand your position, okay? Looking at it from the town's position also, so. I would just like, myself personally, I would like to, if we can make meet next week, just give me a week to go over things, not a full month.
That's fine with me. It's up to you guys if
Oh,
you want to
yeah.
schedule another meeting, or we can always do it some morning, sometime next week if you wanted to.
I mean, if you guys have any questions, you know, we'd be more than happy to answer them to the best of our ability.
That's me. If you two fellas want to go continue with this, that's fine. I understand.
Well, I don't think the COLA is a bit high, but it's not out of order, I don't think. I mean, we actually, I think they came in last year with 3 also. And we worked on what you wanted to change in the actual benefits. And we came down to 2.5. Isn't the town,
What is the average COLA right now?
I think the town's is gonna be what, 2.5?
I believe it's gonna be 2.5.
Yeah, there's one, I think it's coal, and then there's a step up of 1.5. So it comes out to 2.5. But,
I mean, like I said, we felt like, you know, you guys have been good to us in the past. We feel we have a good relationship. You know, we're not here, you know, we're not here to play games or do anything like that, you know, to start here and try to get anywhere. Just, you know, we're honest with you guys, you know, we know you're honest with us. We just figured, hey, we feel it's reasonable and fair, and, you know, that's all.
and it's not really way out of line from the local communities.
Well, I guess, COLA 2.5, I could go for COLA 2.5. Bring it in line with the rest of the town. And I see no problem with I understand about the vacation time.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with the vacation time. I mean,
Is that a problem with you, Dan? Does that put you in a bind?
Right now, the slips call for 2 weeks' notice for a vacation and 2 days or 48 hours for a personal day.
A personal day?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're knocking it down from 2 days to 10 minutes.
Yeah. And I know as being a manager and trying to get a workforce together and everything else, I mean, you depend on your workforce, and you depend on going into the morning and you have everything planned for the day.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, there's 2 sides to it too, and like Sean said earlier, there's the side where, you know, there are, you know, single parents on the crew
Yep.
now. Things do happen, and people need to take time off, and you know but there's also the work side of it where, you know, I expect you to be there every day. Could we, you know, meet somewhere and maybe drop it down to, I don't know, we have vacation time, personal time.
Well, it's one of those things too, Dan. I don't mean to interrupt. You know, right now, no one abuses their time, and we don't want to, and this has nothing to do with that. And we were looking at a place to start, and maybe if we tried this out, and, you know, obviously feel free. If you think it's being abused, then call us right to the carpet and talk to us about it. You know, I don't think that we'll abuse it. We all enjoy coming to work. Sometimes it's easy to come to work and stay at home. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's not a problem with that. It's just more of I think it's more the emergency situation, you know, and you know, I got caught last year myself with a flight I had got canceled.
Mhm.
And, you know, I sit here and say, well, now I was planning on being to work the next day, and, you know, I don't want to lie and say that I'm sick, because I'm not sick. I need 48 hours in advance to tell them that I missed the flight, you know. So I think we're just trying to avoid situations like that, you know. We like to be upfront, we like to be honest, and that's really what it's about, you know.
I mean, the only thing I could see with that, Dan, is particularly with the 10-minute lead time that they want, would be if you had something that needed to get done in a certain time frame. And if it's one person coming in, yeah, you could probably live with that. But if you got maybe somebody that's out sick and then sick for,
I mean, you gotta line up your workload
Yeah.
for the day.
Right.
And you have maybe police details, you have, coordinate with other utilities, and you're trying to line everything up, and then all of a sudden, everything falls through.
That hasn't been an issue. It is always, if there's a detailed schedule for the day, I can almost guarantee you 100% of the time that we're gonna have enough people to do the job that day. It's never happened where I've had to cancel a detail because more than one guy didn't show up to
Right.
work that day.
Yeah, and with the police detail, if they show up,
It's an automatic 4
4
hours.
hours, yeah.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
automatic 4 hours. I just think 10 minutes before the start of the shift is cutting it really close.
I think the 10 minutes is more of the, that's what time, anytime I feel like anyone is sick or anything like that, they end up, we call Mark on his way to work. Or
Right.
it's that, I think that's where the 10 minutes came from. I mean, it's definitely, if you want to, or more the sense that, hey, Dan, something just came up. I guess the time limit's hard. If something just came up during the day, my wife needs me, I have to go get my kids because she's stuck at work. Can I take 3 hours of personal time?
Mhm.
I think situations like that also.
Right. Could we change it to, instead of 10 minutes for vacation and personal, could we say 30 minutes for personal and maybe a day for a vacation?
I don't know how you guys feel.
Well, if you got a personal, somebody's sick, you're gonna take a day off.
No, we understand the vacation time is totally understandable. I think it's more the personal that I
I
think
think the
that
personal day, I can understand that, but vacation time, that's something.
Vacation generally is scheduled, and you should know
Yeah.
what more than a day in advance if you're gonna take
Absolutely.
a vacation.
maybe I think the only other thing too is that if say for instance, you run out of personal time and then you have that. We just don't want to kind of paint ourselves into a corner with that. That's all.
Mhm. No, I
mean,
understand.
but if it's something that you feel that we can approach you with also, and that can be talked about, we don't want to say we use our personal time, like you said, with life situations that happen.
Mhm.
And again, hey, I need to take an hour here, an hour there, but I'm out of personal. Dan, can I take vacation? And I think we're just nervous. We don't want you to say, well, the policy says you have to give me. Not that you would, but we
Right,
just don't want
right.
to paint ourselves into a corner.
So, you saying you won't accept the 1 day and the 30 minutes?
I think I was just
You
talking
wanna-
it out more. I mean,
Okay.
I mean,
Do you guys wanna go talk about it for a minute, or you wanna?
Sure,
I mean, is
I'll
it
get
okay
Mark
with the
there, too.
commissioners if they go talk for a
No,
minute?
if they want, sure, they can do that.
okay, so it was 1 day for vacation.
1 day for vacation, 30 minutes for personal.
Okay.
Is that all right with the commissioners as far as?
Yeah, I mean, the issue we're gonna run into is the 3%, because of the town's 2.5, and we're in negotiations with 3 unions
Mhm.
this year.
Yep.
And that kind of throws a little monkey wrench into the town's negotiations with the unions.
Right.
If somebody else gets a higher one.
Well, if you gave them this and you said
Yeah,
2.75, I think they would take it.
Okay, I mean, what I'm looking here, I mean, 10 minutes is a very short time period. If you've got something important, particularly if it's a customer that's scheduled for 8 o'clock in the
Mhm.
morning to have a
Right.
shutdown because you gotta change a transformer or something.
As long as I've been there, and the short time that I've been there, that's never been an issue. We've scheduled Sunday work, they've always shown up and the work's always gets done.
Well, that's good, that's good.
So can we work around this? I mean, can I just tell them, give me as much notice as possible? And on the rare situation where they need 10 minutes, or they have something come up at home, children's sick, they need to go right away.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I mean, I don't see it happening until somebody's out, maybe sick, and then somebody has an issue.
Mhm. Right.
You don't have enough help at that point.
I always dust my work clothes off.
Yeah, there you go. I still got a climbing belt.
Yeah,
So, I
Dan.
mean, but-
oh, sorry. We're comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So you'll take the 30 minutes for the vacation. I'm sorry, for the
Personal.
personal. And I think that would work better, a little easier.
Mhm.
At least it gives Dan a chance to make that phone call to if you got a street detail.
Yep.
To try to cancel that before the time kicks in,
Well,
so.
that's a 2 hour now ahead, but that's beside the point. 30 minutes, I think, will still work, but as
Well,
far as
well,
the
hopefully.
detail cancel, that's 2 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they changed it.
Yeah.
They get you no matter which
So
way
if
you
it
go.
starts raining at 6 o'clock, you can't cancel it, or you're good for the
Yeah.
4 hours.
That's right, it's 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I knew it was 4 hours, but
So
I didn't realize
You gotta make
it
that
was
call at
6.
4:45 in the
I didn't
morning.
realize it was 6.
Oh, yeah.
Is what they're saying. So would you take 2.5?
Well, I mean, personally, I feel like the 2.5, like we said, the average is 2.63, and like I said, you guys know, and we all know that we are above average when it comes to working for the life
No, no,
department.
I understand. I think we all understand that, and that's not the reason why we're asking this question.
No, but, and then.
We're really not trying to Jew you down. We
Yeah.
really aren't. I mean,
Well, like Kenny said too, it's, we compare ourselves to the other municipal line departments, not the other departments, in town, and we are separate. It is a different job, and we understand we all have to live here. We all have to work together, but
well, we have to live with the rest of the town too.
yes, but we feel, like I said, we came up with that 3%. We felt it was very reasonable, and that's what we really feel like we're worth.
Well, what's the rest of the board think?
Excuse me?
What's the rest of the board think?
Dan, you're the one that have to be comfortable with this.
Oh, as far as the raise goes,
No, I'm talking about the time for,
I'm comfortable with the time that we discussed, the 30
Okay.
minutes in the one day. That's fine with me.
well, 3%, I'm not comfortable with 3% COLA because of the rest of the town. 2.5%, but not 3. That's my feeling.
Yeah, I have no issue at all with the time for the vacation and personal time. That'll work out. It works. I think in my mind it works a little better than just a 10-minute notice, which is really kind of short, particularly if we got other things that need to get done. An example: if you got a 9 o'clock appointment in the morning to do a customer shutdown, scheduled outage, and you don't have enough people to get it done. And just one probably wouldn't be an issue, but if you have somebody else sick at that same time, then it begins to get a little tight. So,
I wasn't here, but everyone is really good. The day before, we go over what we're gonna do tomorrow. If they know,
yeah.
we got a detail, we're gonna run wire on Weathersfield, because that's what we're doing. They know they're gonna come in and be there and run wire, so.
Split the middle? We just split the middle?
What's that?
Would you split the middle, 2.5, between 2.5 and 3?
I'm gonna stick with 2.5.
Okay.
Do you, gentlemen?
What do you think, Ken?
Well, if that's what you're talking about, 275 now? 2.5, between 2.5 and 3?
No. Well, Bob said 2.5.
Yeah, if that's what they want to go along with.
Well, I'm not sure they do yet at this point.
We like 3, Kenny.
Yeah. I went along with the 3, but, it's still a problem here. We got 2 selectmen in town. If they weren't selectmen, we wouldn't have these problems. But you have to deal with that situation. That's the way it is.
It has nothing to do with me being a selectman. Right now, I'm a commissioner.
Would you guys settle on 275?
Yeah, I think I could buy that.
We would take that.
I mean, I think you understand, Mark, where we're coming from.
Oh, yeah.
It's-
I mean, I know I missed, I was had a family.
Yeah, well, we didn't really discuss it in the
No.
open here, but it does make some issues.
Oh, yeah, it definitely, it's a,
Yeah, so. So would you buy 275, Bob?
It's up to you two gentlemen.
Okay.
275?
Yeah.
Well, let's go along with 275.
Yeah, that's good. We agree with
With the 31 also on the time. And 31 on this, from 10 to 30,
Yeah.
and from 2 to 1.
31.
Well, they want a 10-minute notice
Yeah,
for personal time. We'll say 30-minute notice for personal time.
30 minute
Yeah.
personal.
And then Dan's recommended from the 2-day notice to a 1-day notice. And I'm
But
willing,
that's vacation.
and I'm willing to go along with that.
Hmm. Okay,
So you can buy that?
yeah.
Okay. So you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to change the vacation and sick time to 30 minutes of personal time and 1 week for vacation time.
Okay, and 275.
One day.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
Can we make them two separate votes?
We can. Yeah. So you want to make a motion on the time thing first?
On this one here,
Yep.
I'll make a motion that change the vacation and sick time policy. 30 minutes to for personal time and 1 week for vacation time.
Wow, 1 day.
One day.
1 day. Okay, motion made and is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Now the COLA.
Now we're back up to this one.
Yep.
I'll make a motion that we increase the time, the pay scale, 2.75.
Was that right?
Does everybody go along with that? Everybody does.
Okay, motion made. We have a second?
Do make a motion. Made the
Second.
motion.
Second. I'll second it.
Second it?
Yep, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
1 abstention and 1 opposed. Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for all that you do.
Do a good job, guys.
thank you.
Thank
We'll
you.
let you guys go on with the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Piggyback on Josh.
Item number 4, review of Raleigh Municipal Light Plant 2015 audit.
In the email, I had sent you a paper, a PDF of the audit. I hope you had time to review it. I will give you, if you'd like, I have hard copies here that are bound. If you-
Yep, that PDF does not stick on my email for some reason.
No, it keeps
No,
falling
it keeps-
off?
It keeps falling off, for I
Okay.
don't understand
All
why.
right.
I don't know if it's the email account or what, but the attachment,
I've had some issues too with.
do you?
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I know Kenny has too.
What's happened is BIOS has changed. They would rather get you off of the regular email address and put it on their email address. And in certain ways it comes through, it just, I can't print it, I can't do anything, I can't even open it.
Yeah, I can't open it.
Okay,
Would it
I'm
be-
sorry.
Oh, sorry, Dan.
No, go ahead.
Would it be easier for me to send you the minutes in Word? rather than a PDF.
Yeah, see, Word is
Yeah,
Microsoft.
that might be a better thing to do.
I think what's happening is with the Fios thing, Verizon is switching it out and won't let it come through.
Yeah.
It's
When,
not-
when you send it out,
Yes.
do you send it out, and have it, the address sent back to you? So not only, so in other words, you know that the attachment went out. That might be an idea to put yourself, CC yourself on it, and if the attachment goes, it should come back to you, and the
Okay,
attachment
yep.
will still be there. Okay, Dick, you
Yeah.
can try that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll do that on the emails I sent to you as
Okay.
well. That way I'll know if you get the PDFs of
All right.
these as well.
thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, it was, I think actually the one I had the issue with was the notice, meeting notice.
Oh, the meeting notes, okay.
It was there, you said it was there, and he won't let me open it.
Okay.
He wants me to save it or whatever, but I can't get to read it.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I can't get to open it.
Okay.
Yeah,
This is
it won't,
my-
just won't open.
You can shut that off now if you want. I think it should be fine.
Okay.
Make it easier.
This is not the side, I don't hear everything on this side.
So the audit went very well. We've got a good review from the auditor. We are in good financial shape. The management letter I'll let you read
Yep.
at your leisure, and if you have any comments, you can always let me know. We can address it at the next meeting if you want. You just let me know if you want to put it on the agenda. We'll put it on the agenda for the next meeting. So that'll give you time to review it, and
Mhm.
if we have any questions, definitely, we can ask away, and I'll see I'll answer what I can.
Okay.
And would it be would the board like the auditor to come and present the actual audit to the board? I mean, he said he's willing to do that if you want to do that, and kind of give you a rundown of the actual audit.
I would like to, I think that would be a good idea,
Okay,
and
all
it'd be
right.
good for the public to see it also, and hear it.
Yeah, we got some new Gatsby stuff in there too, huh?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you go through that with the town, and
Oh, yeah.
it's the same. The OPEB reporting is going to be the same for the light department as for the town, because we basically have the same type of retirements in the healthcare obligations.
Obligations,
So
yeah.
all those are going to be the same, and there's a lot of new ones in the back of the audit that he had to do this year, and that's one of the reasons why the audit is delayed this year, is because he's behind only because he had to do with every municipal government or entity that he does, he has to do all these new Gatsby statements, which have delayed each individual audit. So
Yep.
next year's audit. Okay.
Okay, is there any other questions on the audit? Okay, that'll take us down to item number 5, which is financial update of March 31st.
All right, I'll hand out the budget and
Thank you.
I think is it two there, Bob? Or just one?
Bob's got 2.
Bob's good too.
Here we go. I got
You
yours.
got one? Okay. And next I will hand out the capital budget.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll-
Thank you.
So the only thing that was really up was the pole towers and fixtures, but that's because we did a lot of replacements,
We've done a lot of work on Weathersfield Street.
which needed it desperately.
Yes, yeah, it's reconductoring the old Hendrix that's up there with new, 13 kV Hendrix,
Right.
replacing poles, brackets, everything, for a good stretch for right around 3,500 feet, between Route 1 and, just after, the road on the left that goes across the
Bennett.
central, Bennett Hill,
Bennett
yes,
Bennett Hill.
thank you. Just past there, around that corner, that's where we're stopping.
We put that in the late sixties.
Okay,
Single phase up until then.
Yep.
Very few houses up there. Most of those houses, particularly on this end of it, from Bennett Hill this way, were all after that. Hand drilled every pole, because there was no secondary,
awesome.
and did not have a bucket truck.
Yeah. No, I'm very glad we have the equipment we do today to do the work. It makes it so much easier. And the guys are progressing quite well on it. The wires run. I believe they heated it up. They just got to hang new transformers up there, and basically tie over the services
Yeah.
to finish it.
That'll give us another backfeed out of the station.
Once we complete the loop, yeah, it'll give us another feed around between circuit 2 and circuit 3.
Yeah.
So.
Very good. Well worth it.
Any questions on, as far as the budget goes, on the operations and maintenance budget? I think we're looking good so far, for the first quarter of the year. We are, in the red, at the current time,
Mhm.
and as I say every year, the first 3 months of the year are always difficult for us, only because power supply costs are high and basically the usage is low, so we're always a little bit low the first 3 months, but we've already made this back and a little bit more on the current, so in the next quarter, you'll see that it increased substantially from where we are now.
Very good.
One thing I want to point out on the second page is on the line item 555, the purchase power, we are substantially lower than we were last year. And due to the new power contract that we signed
Mm-hmm.
is lower, the wholesale market costs are lower, so our power supply costs are substantially lower than they were last year. So, that being said, I'll keep an eye on where we are as far as the rates go, and we may, drop the PPA in the coming months. I'll look to see where it goes, but more than likely we're gonna have a drop in the PPA.
No, that would be nice.
How much, what would the,
I generally will start it very slow, only
Right.
because I don't wanna drop it low, then have to raise it
Right.
again, so I'll drop it, probably a half a cent to start. And then see how that month's go, then maybe another half a cent, and until we get kinda levelize it.
okay. That would, a half a cent would probably on the average bill,
$15-20 maybe.
$15-20 cost savings on the average? On the average bill,
Maybe not on the average bill, it's probably less than that on the average bill.
yeah,
The average now is more like 750 to 1,000 kWh a month.
okay. Which equates to,
About $100 generally,
Yeah.
a little over $100 a month.
okay,
So
so probably looking at,
I'd say on the average bill, 500 kilowatt hours, maybe $5.
$5, okay.
Yeah, maybe $5, somewhere around there.
Alright.
The numbers aren't really flowing that well right now. I'm still tired from last night's conservation committee meeting.
It's unfair of the push.
They kept me out late.
Okay. I'm just curious.
Yeah. No, I mean, it should be, and most customers won't even notice it, only because what'll happen is, as they drop the PPA a little bit, their actual usage this time of year will start to creep up. So their bill will actually go up, but they will actually be paying less for the amount of kilowatt hours they use. So they probably won't even see any reduction in the bill.
Particularly with the air conditioning coming on. And
Yeah.
it'll probably start this coming week, because they're saying up into the 90s by the weekend.
It's already started. We're already hitting in the 8 megawatt range already. So
Yeah.
if it keeps up like this, we might set a peak this summer. So hopefully not. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So any other questions on that? Ken, you got any
No,
questions?
all set.
I think, to me, it looks very good.
No,
Thank you.
It's, right in line.
If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send me an email and let me know.
Okay, so that takes us down to item number 6, which is 2016 write-offs, which is never fun.
You'll notice that the write-offs are substantially lower than last year, only because last year we hadn't done it in a while, so last year was a year that we basically took a large number of accounts and basically
Yeah.
wrote them off. This year is substantially lower than last year.
Yeah, we do go after them.
This is exhausted collections, people that have basically moved out, who we've sent to collection agencies who have they have exhausted all avenues to collect from them. And a lot of them, they're not a lot of dollars. I mean, was there about 20 customers on the list, and so,
Approximately, yeah.
yeah. And some of these accounts are old.
Yeah.
We do,
Liens on some.
yeah, I am gonna explore some other avenues too, is, a small claims court, for instance. We can go to small claims court on some of these customers if you can find them, we can bring in the small claims court for,
Yeah, I think 85 cents probably isn't worth it, though.
no. Yeah, no.
Well, that's a good one. You know, get another one there that's 38 cents, so it's not really too bad.
It's just, and that's not even worth sending the collections. It's not
No,
even worth
it-
sending the bill out to the customer.
It's costing you more to mail it,
Right.
so.
Bob, and we do lien customers.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
No,
we still do that.
and that works out very well.
We do it actually more often than we used to.
Yes.
A lot more often.
Well, you have to these days. You really do.
Yeah.
I had one that I had done when I was there, and then they didn't even come to fruition until after I retired. But we did get them.
Yeah. We had one just like that.
He wanted to come in and do it 50 cents on the dollar. And I told Karen, don't you dare.
No.
So, that's a good list.
Mhm.
That's great.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
So we'll do it every July, and you'll see that list probably go down even more next year.
Good.
Do you need a motion on that, or
No, I think it's
just,
yeah, it's a standard thing that we do every year anyway.
do we have to
The,
sign off on that? I just saw that.
Yeah, please.
Okay, we'll do that. The accountant likes to see it not carried too long.
Yes.
They want it written off, you know, so,
That and the auditor.
yeah.
Have a motion to sign?
Sure.
Okay, I'll give you a motion to sign the write-off.
Motion made.
seconded.
Motion made and seconded to sign off on the write-offs. Signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good example of how things have changed in town, though. You read all these names, you don't know anybody anymore.
Thank you. Actually, watch it. And make a copy for me, please. Not today.
Okay, that brings us to agenda item 7, update on Raleigh Generation Project.
I feel like a broken record sometimes. We've been talking about this for probably a couple of years now. We are getting closer, but it seems that we might be getting further away too. I've had some correspondence with National Grid and Tangent and the lawyers and Energy New England. And basically what I'm trying to figure out is when National Grid reads our meters, how that data is reported to ISO New England. And the reason we need to know that is because it makes a difference how we can save money with the generator.
Right.
If National Grid reports our data as one reading every month, including the generator, so basically they reconstitute it, then basically the RNS and LNS transmission savings go away on the generator, which makes it that much more financially not attractive because the payback is being pushed out a number of years, 5, 10, 15 years or more maybe. We're still negotiating the PPA. It's on hold for right now until I get new numbers from Tangent, just taking capacity savings and what's called locational marginal price or LMP savings. That's what we're looking at right now. Once I get those new numbers, we'll be able to have a conversation and say, this is financially doable in a shorter amount of time, whatever the time frame may be. They're going to say to us, all right, you're going to have a payback of 15 years at these numbers. You know, we're just using those two sets of savings. Then we can make it, you know, we've already made that decision to kind of pursue this with the MOU, but things have, in talking and negotiating with Tangent for the PPA, things have changed a little bit. Even the rules have changed at the ISO a little bit. As you know, we've only been doing this process about 2 years, but the rules in the ISO have changed in that 2-year period.
I would think that ISO would be encouraging us to do that because they're the ones that have to set the estimates and have it available. But we've got the hammer behind us.
They send out mixed signals.
I know, it's unbelievable.
The ISO council, the head council at ISO New England, is dead set against distributed generation in a form of gas turbines or behind the meter generation like we're proposing. Dead set against it. Are the rules dead set against it? Not really, but I don't know if we want to take the financial risk to say to the ISO, we're going to do it anyway, and then catch us if you can, or you know, take the financial risk of maybe back billing us for as long as we've had the generator. So that's a huge financial risk that you know we don't want to take.
No.
We don't want to go there, and
We're way too small to get involved with that type of thing.
exactly. And there's not enough people in the municipal world doing this right now to get a basically a group of people together and go fight FERC and go fight the ISO.
Right.
And that's a lonely battle just for one small municipal.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm waiting for Tangent to give me the numbers that I talked to Greg today, and he said he'd have the numbers for me probably by tomorrow afternoon. So once I get those numbers, that's and basically I'll have a conversation with E&E to run the numbers by them just to make sure
Mhm.
we're talking about the same thing, and we'll be able to decide whether we want to go forward or not, or not. Basically, the MOU is expired. The 6 months for the MOU is up. So basically, if we did want to cancel the deal, all we got to do is
Just tell them.
just tell them and walk away.
Mhm.
And it's. I feel good that we tried. If
Mhm.
we do walk away, but it would be nice if it happened. But we tried, and it may not work out. So.
Yeah, no, I think we needed to try. But I'm not surprised that's what the outcome is either, because of who we're dealing with.
No, I just wish we could get a definitive answer in writing from somebody that says this is how it works, because legal counsel has an opinion on how it should work. Tangent has an opinion how it's going to work. Tangent wants to make money. They have their own view on the world.
Mm-hmm.
Legal has their view on the world. If I was thrown against one wall or the other, I'd go with legal. I mean, I have to. I can't go with somebody who's trying to sell me something. We have to go with legal with their advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the prudent thing to do.
Absolutely.
I agree.
So I will. I'll wait to get the numbers from Greg, and I will send you an email. Let you know. Basically, I'll forward the email that he sends me, and I'll give you a rundown of what that is.
It's a terrible place to be in, this limbo, and everything tells us go ahead, do this, but everything again tells us don't do this because of repercussions, because of ISO.
Yeah,
It could come back and bite us really bad.
it could. It really could.
That's what they're there. That's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with the transmission stuff, and they're not gonna lose money.
No,
So they're gonna
No.
change they're gonna change it so that we get penalized
for trying to.
for trying to do it, for trying to save ourselves money.
The thing about a 2 megawatt generator is it does help on the capacity side. It helps everybody.
Right.
It helps the
them.
whole grid. It helps the whole grid. It brings that total capacity number down. So it helps
I would
everyone.
think they should be looking to us, looking for small municipal towns to put these in.
No, not municipals. Small towns maybe, but not municipals.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well,
But
Municipal is the
to
enemy.
take the burden off the grid. That's,
Municipal's the enemy.
I know.
It really is. It's the only thing that's held those guys in check for all this time.
mhm.
Well, I guess we wait.
We'll wait and see. Yeah,
Yeah, that's all you
Yeah.
can do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan, for all the time you put into
Yep.
that.
All right, on to item number 7. I'm sorry, item number 8. Update on solar projects.
The solar projects are progressing. I'm happy with where we're at with those. We're negotiating the PPA in the process of. We're right now working on the interconnection between Brightergy Solar Arrays and Raleigh Municipal Light. We hired an engineering firm, PLM, to work on the one line on our side of it. So they're coordinating between Brightergy and PLM to get the one line squared away. I went to a conservation committee meeting last night. Both solar arrays, the Newburyport Turnpike one and the Central Street one were both on the agenda. They discussed the what do you call it? The disturbance fee that they charge for the permitting process. They talked about the plan itself and the buffer zones, how they're some of them are. I don't understand the whole conservation committee thing, but vegetative wetlands, the pools, things like that. they wanna make sure that, you know, things that we do, or things that Brightergy does is gonna conform to the Conservation Committee rules and
Right,
regulations, so.
right, there's distances you have to be away from wetlands and stuff like that. So-
And, so they're working on that, and we had a good discussion with the Conservation Commission last night, but it was, basically extended to the next meeting in July. Brightergy is under a time constraint, only because if they do not get the project built before January 1 of 17, they'll lose their tax funding. Not funding, but they'll lose
Recs.
the tax incentives.
Yeah.
Not the recs, but the tax
Tax
incentives.
incentives.
So, they are going to keep the ball moving, and they want to work on the planning board and the conservation.
Yeah, because they have to get a site plan approval from planning.
Right, so they're working that concurrently so that
Good.
they have a planning board meeting on the 12th, I believe, and they have another conservation commission meeting on the 11th. So they'll be meeting with 2 boards and 2 nights in order to keep the ball moving. So
Mhm.
on our end, as far as negotiating with Brightergy, it's going really well as far as getting the one line done. So the projects so we'll have that all squared away for the interconnection. So they're moving along, and it's looking good.
Okay.
And just so you know, I mean, we're talking about the other generation project and the solar. The solar is basically, it's a generator just like the gas generator is. But they kind of turn a blind eye to the solar and wind generator only because it's renewable. So this could be on at a transmission peak, in an ICAP peak, and RNS peak, and it doesn't matter because it's a solar, it's renewable energy. So they kind of turn a blind eye to that, but.
Well, that's what they're pushing. They're pushing renewables.
Right, so, I mean, if it was a national gas like we talked about in the previous agenda item, they would be looking at it to.
Yeah, now peak time would be 4 to 6.
The thing with the solar is, the peak time for solar is 11 to 2,
11 to 2.
I think it's
But
11
our
to 2.
peak time is
Is around 4 to 6.
4
So
to 6.
solar is basically offline by the time we hit our daily
Right.
peak, and the ISO hits their peak. So you get a little bit of capacity from the solar as the peak starts to ramp up. It smooths it out a little bit, but you don't get the full benefit of solar like you would a generator that you click on right at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah, you can control its peak.
Right. But also, battery storage is coming a long way, and there are a lot of companies looking to do battery storage along with solar, in conjunction with solar, so that we could
Using the solar to charge the batteries.
using the solar to charge the battery and discharging the battery.
And then use a converter to convert it from the DC into the AC.
And then basically running that battery during peak times.
Okay.
So, but is it there yet? It's getting close, but it's not quite. I know there's a municipality out in Sterling Municipal Light they're doing a battery project with a grant from the DOER. Everybody's kind of anxious to see how that turns out.
So there's a huge one up in Alaska.
Battery storage.
Yeah, and that's how they supply because of the weather conditions, particularly in the wintertime. Are terrible.
Mhm.
So they have this huge warehouse that's full of batteries, and they keep them charged. And when storm comes along and the power goes out, the batteries kick on, and everything keeps running. They've been doing that for years up there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's almost there. I mean, basically the batteries they have now are trailer truck size.
Much better.
So
yeah.
they basically put it on a pad and done.
Yeah, it's not a whole bunch of little ones.
No, they're actually trailer
Acid.
truck size. So
Lead and acid batteries anymore.
yeah, no,
So,
no. Lithium ion, I believe, right now.
Yeah, most of them are. Okay.
Well, they sure are everywhere, though.
The solar.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they are.
You know, you head south, and that's
They've
all
been
you
calling
see.
everybody in town, too.
Yeah, yes, they have.
A lot of them on the Mass Pike now.
Yeah, along the, you see them on the
Yeah.
bankings and whatnot, yeah. Even the state's getting in on it.
Okay. So that takes us to number 9?
Yes.
All right. Okay, let's see here.
You in motion, Mr. Chairman?
Actually, number 9 is an executive session under Mass General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21, small a, 2, for contract negotiations with non-union personnel, manager's contract. And item number 2 is to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel. And do we gotta go into executive session by roll call vote?
Make your motion, Mr. Chairman, to go into executive session for the purposes of negotiation with non-union personnel,
Okay.
wages contract.
And to reconvene in open session,
I'm not convening open session.
reconvene in
Re-
open
in
session.
open session,
Yes,
okay.
because, correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, but I think we need to do that by the requirements of the open
Yes.
meeting law,
If you accept the
Yeah.
contract, you have to be
Right.
in open session for a
Okay.
vote.
to be able
Okay.
to, we can negotiate it in executive, but we have to be accepted in that. And that would be by roll call vote, Bob, so you wanna make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. All those in favor of going into executive session by roll call vote signify by saying aye.
I, Robert Snow.
Aye, Robert Murray.
Aye,
Ken? You got-
Keys.
Ken Keats,
Ken
okay.
Keys.
We are now in executive session. And we are back in session. We're reconvening our open meeting. And we had a negotiations with non-union personnel and dealing with the manager's contract. And we have agreed to the agreements of the manager's contract and issued a 4% wage increase per his contract. So that's where we stand at this point. So we
Okay.
want to vote on that
I give you a motion to continue with 4% as
per the
per the contract.
contract negotiations.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. So do you have anything else for us, Dan, tonight?
No.
Or
That was it.
okay, we can go for an adjournment, I guess, at this point. We've gone through all of the agenda items.
I give you a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second, yep.
Motion to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.